Here's your wrestling news for October 9th, 2020. And your headlines for today include more than 15 notable WWE superstars missing from 2020 WWE draft pool. Rules for the draft revealed. Samoa Joe confirms he's not done in the ring. Matt Riddle, WWE, and more sued for $10 million each by Candy Cartwright. WWE reacts. Yet another WWE wrestler is out of action with broken nose. Chris Benoit's final WWE opponent, Elijah Burke, reveals what he told him in the ring. AEW gives an illogical reason about their talent socializing with WWE superstars. Bobby Lashley finally reveals why he agreed to do the storyline with Lana on WWE Raw, and more. We're kicking off today with the 2020 WWE Draft, and whilst over 60 superstars will be involved, there are some notable exceptions. The 2020 Draft will start on tonight's SmackDown and conclude on next Monday's Raw, though there are some big names missing, such as John Cena, hasn't been around since WrestleMania and wasn't included in last year's draft. Becky Lynch is currently out of action as she's pregnant and due in December. Goldberg wasn't included in the WWE draft this year, but does have more years on his contract. The Big Show wasn't in last year's draft either and last appeared on Raw. Edge is out with a tricep injury. Samoa Joe is on commentary and currently on Raw. The Forgotten Sons haven't been on television since Jackson Riker's unfortunate social media actions that nobody's forgotten about. Sonya Deville lost a Loser Leaves WWE match at SummerSlam, so they're still playing that up. Jinder Mahal is out with an injury. Bo Dallas hasn't been around since December 2019 and didn't return at TakeOver 31. The Singh brothers have been stuck in Canada since the pandemic started. Robert Roode recently returned, but the Singhs have not. Mojo Rawley was just left off for some reason, though it's unclear why. Jimmy Uso's knee is injured, so he was left off, but Jey Uso was on the list. Ivar was out of the pool as well, and though his partner Eric is also injured, he's in the draft. It's also notable that NXT was left off the draft, though stars of Raw Underground such as Dabba-Kato and Arturo Ruas are in the pool. Even without some huge names, the landscape of WWE is about to change dramatically, and it'll be interesting to see who goes where in just a few hours. More draft news next, as thanks to a report from Fox Sports, we now have an idea of what the rules will be. As part of the 60-plus superstars included, tag teams have also been placed in the draft, though teams can be split up. As Raw is a 3-hour show, the Red Brand will get 3 picks to SmackDown's 2, with Raw ending with over 30 picks, while SmackDown will get 20. Teams will count as 1 pick unless they're split, and any superstars undrafted at the end of next Monday's Raw will be declared a free agent and be able to sign with either brand. It's clear that things are going to be very different this time next week, thanks to the 2020 WWE Draft. One person not in the pool is Samoa Joe, as he suffered a concussion that has kept him from the ring. While speaking to the Wild On podcast, Joe spoke about his current medical status and said his current commentary role has been a fun challenge. He added, "Obviously, I'm not done in the ring by no means. I think right now I'm exploring things. Aside from that, I'm doing voice acting, which is fun and very cool. It's a very enjoyable thing. I have a project coming up with Warner Brothers. I'm very fortunate and I'm very happy that I'm doing the things I'm doing right now." Both in and out of the ring, Joe has been a valuable asset to WWE, and whilst fans would love to see him back in the ring, it's no secret that WWE doesn't comment on concussion matters. Over to SmackDown next, as after Matt Riddle filed a lawsuit against the woman who claimed he acted inappropriately with her, Samantha Tavell has fired back. Recent court filings reveal that Tavell, aka indie wrestler Candy Cartwright, has filed a lawsuit against Riddle, WWE, Gabe Sapolsky, and Evolve, with the assistance of the Circuit Court of Cook County, Illinois. Tavell is seeking $10 million from each defendant and is claiming actual damages, emotional distress, punitive damages, attorney's fees, and other costs related to the case. The lawsuit alleges that Riddle forced himself on Tavell in April 2017 after an Evolve show, and claims that Riddle bragged about his parking lot escapades to Evolve owner Sapolsky and 2 others from WWE who, quote, tactically approved of his actions. The lawsuit also addresses May 19, 2018, where Riddle allegedly forced Tavel to perform actions for him by crushing her windpipe, and claims that this was done in front of other Evolve wrestlers while they were on a bus leaving Summit, Illinois, where Evolve 104 happened. Evolve had a, quote, misogynistic culture, according to the suit, which was allegedly created by those she's suing, and it's also stated that WWE has condoned toxic misogyny for 30 years. In January this year, Riddle allegedly forced her to sleep with him once again under the threat that she'd lose bookings with both WWE and Evolve, and when she refused, he allegedly told WWE, and both they and Evolve stopped booking her, claiming that she had, quote, issues with talent. Riddle has defended himself in a video statement denying he ever did anything illegal, but said he had an affair with Tavel. In a statement from WWE, the company denied they were being sued, saying, WWE has not been served with a lawsuit by Ms. Tavel. However, if served, we will vigorously defend ourselves and contest it. This is a huge case that could have huge ramifications for WWE, Evolve, and especially Riddle if the court finds in Tavel's favor. And we'll keep you viewers up to date as both Tavel's case against Riddle and his against her proceed. Back to the ring now, and Mickie James returned to the ring recently after being gone far too long, but now she's back on the shelf again. On a recent episode of Grown Ass Woman, Mickie confirmed she's broken her nose, meaning she won't wrestle for a couple of weeks, which is thankfully far shorter than her last absence from TV. Even so, this is not the kind of speed bump she needs right now, and hopefully WWE have a part for her as part of the WWE draft when she's ready to return. Speaking of injuries, Ridge Holland's ankle buckled on this week's NXT, and now we know what'll happen with the former rugby star. Yesterday, Holland had surgery to repair a left ankle dislocation and fracture, and his right knee patellar was also dislocated, and he also had a patellar tendon rupture as well. So with 3 injuries, it could be quite some time before he's back. Lastly, Dakota Kai is also hurt as she's dealing with back and neck pain as a result of her tag team match against Ember Moon and Rhea Ripley, and we'll have to see what her condition is in the coming weeks. Now, Chris Benoit's last match happened against Elijah Burke in 2007 and took place on the June 19th edition of ECW, just 5 days before Benoit's death. Now, Burke has spoken about what would go on to become a historic match for the wrong reasons, as while speaking to Wrestling Epicenter, the former superstar spoke about Benoit's behavior in the match. He said, "One thing Chris was big on, and hindsight is 20/20 on this, if I could say, oh that kinda makes sense, is just the fact he said, talk to me out there, I might forget. So after everything that happened, when it came back that he had the brain of an 80-year-old with Alzheimer's, that was like, that's interesting. In this business, I was always taught that we should communicate in rings, so I didn't think anything of it. That could have been a sign. Chris Benoit asking me to talk to him?" Burke added that there was no signs Benoit's brain had degenerated, which was discovered later. Sadly, Benoit would go on to kill his wife and son before taking his own life, and with Burke being released in 2008 and going on to wrestle elsewhere, it's clear that the 42-year-old has tried to move on from being the final opponent of Chris Benoit. AEW now, as the company recently suffered an outbreak and are blaming their competition. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted that there's belief inside the All Elite promotion that WWE is to blame for the outbreak among the AEW roster, as the Gold brand also suffered a similar incident. He said, "AEW has had one outbreak which they blame on wrestlers socializing and things like that with WWE talent, because it started there, however it happened. Lance Archer obviously didn't get it from WWE talent, so it's more than that. It's no secret that AEW stars and WWE superstars hang out in their personal time, so it's possible that NXT's positive cases had an effect on AEW. With both companies operating from Florida, the two can both hold shows at full capacity now due to the Sunshine State's Phase 3 of reopening, but given the recent rise of positive cases, it may be some time before we see a sellout crowd at either show." Marty Jannetty next, and it's thankfully not about the killing he may or may not have done in his teens, but it's not much better. On social media, the former rocker wrote a lengthy post saying he'd been attacked outside JFK Airport and later taken to Jamaica Medical Center. After revealing that he'd also been robbed, Jannetty said the doctor told him it was a case of mistaken identity, and it seems the former superstar lost his phone in the process. Earlier this year, Jannetty made headlines as he confessed to killing a man in self-defense in his teens before saying he made up the story for an angle, but later said that that was a lie he told the authorities and it really happened. Clearly, Jannetty has a problem being 100% honest with what's happened to him, and we hope that things work out eventually for the former rocker. Back to WWE now, and whilst Bobby Lashley is now in the Hurt business and the US champion, fans will still remember his Lana storyline of earlier this year. On After the Bell, Lashley revealed why he did the storyline, which was almost universally panned in the first place, saying that it was a good way to garner heat as he was feuding with the fan-favorite Rusev, and it was also an attempt for him to loosen up and break out of his shell, and was encouraged by Kurt Angle to have fun with it. Lashley may have had fun, but the fans who watched it did not, and it's safe to say everyone breathed a collective sigh of relief when Lashley and Lana divorced and he joined the Hurt business. We're ending today with Kyle O'Reilly news, and despite his war with Finn Balor at TakeOver 31, the WWE aren't talking about it. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer and Alvarez said that Balor's jaw injury isn't as bad as it seems since WWE are openly talking about it, but that's not the case with O'Reilly's injuries. Alvarez noted that when WWE don't discuss an injury, it's usually a concussion, something that WWE thankfully take very seriously and have a strict protocol on. O'Reilly and Balor really took it to each other at TakeOver 31, and though the Prince left the Capitol Wrestling Center still NXT champion, hopefully it won't be too long until both men are back in the ring.